Hello, everybody. This is David Crum. Thanks for tuning in. If you're viewing this later, I appreciate you clicking and checking us out. If you've got questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will try to get to them in a little while. We'll see what we can find out. I'm going to start talking a little bit about Greenville, South Carolina, and then we're going to get into it. If anybody's got questions, you can leave them in the comments, and we'll try to get to those. We'll talk about whatever you're interested in as well. But let's just jump right in. First up, it's beautiful weather in Greenville, South Carolina right now. It is raining today, but it's 56 degrees. It was 69 degrees earlier today, nice and warm. Plenty of sun in the middle of the day, mixed in with some rain as well. It's pretty typical for spring around here to be a little cool in the evenings, warm in the daytime, with a decent bit of rain. We have been pretty dry. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we did have some serious wildfires, actually the worst wildfire that South Carolina has ever had up near Table Rock. It was started due to some dry weather. Some teenagers were up there smoking and through their cigarettes started the wildfire. Firefighters really had trouble putting it out, but due to some help from the rain and a lot of hard work from a lot of brave people fighting the fire, they've got it pretty much well contained. I expect with the rain today, a little more rain maybe tomorrow, that'll probably help out an awful lot, which is great to hear. Welcome, Merck. Thanks for coming and joining us. I'm glad you're catching the stream. If you've got any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments and I'll get to them here in a little bit. Going back to that wildfire just a little bit, it was the worst one in the state. A couple people have already called and asked me if that's normal here. It is not. We really don't have a wildfire issue. As I said, this is the worst one we've ever had. And I think it was around 13,000 acres, the last I heard, which is really tiny compared to what a lot of people deal with around the nation. But I don't want to minimize it. I think that a lot of the damage from Hurricane Helene 6 months ago, all those trees that were downed, they probably added just a ton of tinder to the forest floor and really exacerbated the problem. But this is the first time I've really been able to see or smell a wildfire at all in my whole life living here. So not a normal issue, but something we did have to deal with real recently. Let's get back to weather in general. South Carolina is pretty mild. Our average temperatures are great. We get hot in the summer. Summer is longer than the winter, but we're definitely out of winter for now. April, we're done with winter. We probably won't freeze again. We'll see. People are starting to plant. I'm starting to think about planting. Just bought some herbs today. As a matter of fact, going to get them outside in the next couple of days and get them planted. So weather's looking nice. Spring's looking good. Let's get into a couple news stories. A new thing happening in South Carolina, and this is probably old news for a lot of people, is South Carolina's really thinking about going hands-free in cars. I saw this article today through the AP on News 4 WYFF. So if you're looking for local news here, a great site is WYFF4.com. That's one of the local channels and probably the go-to for things like school closings, all those things. They're going to be, that's going to be the site that you're going to want to go to. And I actually saw this article there today. It is, I'm going to pull it up if I can here. This is my first live, so give me a little bit of grace as I try to figure this out, if you don't mind. But I'm going to see if I can pull this up. All right. Hopefully you're seeing this right now. South Carolina moving forward on requiring hands-free driving. So this actually passed the House in South Carolina, and it passed 85 to 25 on the vote, as you can see right here. And it's already passed in the Senate earlier, so there's not expected to be any delay. we are going to finally say that you have to be hands-free when you're driving in the state of South Carolina, which I think overall is probably exactly where we need to be. I'm going to move into another segment here, and that's going to be upcoming things in the Greenville area. Let's talk about a couple of the events that we have coming up. I know people like to know what's happening in the Greenville area all the time. We're going to switch up here, and we're going to get our next our next page here, and it's going to be the next upcoming event, and that is Euphoria Greenville. This is a great event, but it is not like many of the events in Greenville. It's not an event that blocks off some of downtown. It's an event that takes place in different areas, and you have to pre-buy tickets. So you can see here from this webpage, some of it's already sold out. Coming up, it's April 25th. This Sassafras, Vine, and Dandy. So all of these are going to usually be a mixture of drinks and food, or one or the other. So here you can see you can buy tickets here to go to Community Tap Thursday, April 24th. There are many events like this. You can see here, just as I scroll down, that some are sold out. Some are still available. Some are going to be talking. Some are going to be interacting with the chef. Some are going to be learning. So it's really up to you to sort of choose how you might want to participate. Euphoria, this is the spring event, is a smaller one. As you can see here, there's a couple more coming, but this is the big one here in September. That's the largest event, and there'll be many more categories of things you can do, things you can sign up for, and ways to get out and about in the Greenville area. So that's the next big event coming to the Greenville area. After that, the next large event is going to be Artisphere. It's going to be May 9th through the 11th. Let's see if I can pull that up here as well. Here we go. Artisphere is a big event that blocks off some of downtown. So you're going to see a lot going on here right in the middle of downtown. You're going to be able to get out and experience what's going on in the art section of Greenville. Of course, there'll be performers on stage. There'll be things presented. There'll also be a lot of food. Who doesn't like to get out and eat? It's really a great event that's coming up. And that'll lead us right into the next big event at the end of May. And this is a newer one to my knowledge, and that is Jazz Fest. So that's coming up as well. I'm going to pull that up for us here. Jazz Fest is going to be May 30th and 31st. It does block off a chunk of downtown, more on the west side over near Augusta Street, or as everyone really calls it, Augusta Road. There'll be several stages. I got to see part of this last year. It was really nice. No tickets involved. Just show up, head downtown. You got great live outdoor music. It really fills the park. So Falls Park downtown is going to have a lot of this jazz sort of flowing into it. There'll be food available, of course. Get out and get food, drink, really just hang out. I will warn you that some of the stages can be hard to get near. It really does fill up, and people bring chairs, things like that, and really sit down and enjoy themselves. Looks like we got a question here. Southern Roots Barbecue Reunion. I have heard about that. It's coming up very soon. Let me see if I can pull that up. I've already seen it because I've seen some things coming up. The pigs for it starting to be on some of my paths as I drive around town. See if I can pull that up. It is actually this weekend. Now that you mentioned it, it's just going to be April 12th. And I'm going to pull that up right here. This is in Trailblazer Park, which is in Travelers Rest. It's a great little park. It's got an amphitheater in it, and just a good space to spread out. If you look right here, there's a great lineup. These chefs come from around the nation. and they all are cooking their signature dishes that they're bringing for this event specifically. You can see there are a lot of local ones like Adam Hayes from Larkins. I know that they come really from all around, and these chefs love to get together and talk and share recipes and just really show off their food. You can see right here at Fork and Plow will be there, Chef Sean Kelly. This is actually a restaurant that my son works at, so I just wanted to go ahead and shoot out a plug for them. Fork and Plow is a great farm-to-table restaurant right off East North Street, really close to downtown Greenville, and they really produce some great food, and they've been great at this event as well. You can see here the performers that will be coming out there: Swamp Rabbit, Bluegrass Band, Freddie McClendon, Craven Mellon, Brooks Dixon Band. So you can get out there, hear some great, just real Southern music, and eat some real Southern food. I mean, great event. Definitely worth checking out. Thanks for mentioning it. Thanks for asking about it. Hope you get out there again. Enjoy it this year. I'd like to move on a little bit. We're going to talk about real estate in the area. The real estate market in Greenville right now is a little bit slower than it has been, but we are getting off to a start on spring. We've got 609 new listings in the Greenville MLS in this last week. So that's a big spike up. Just a few weeks ago, that number was hovering in the 4 to 450 in a week. So you can see that that's a big add-on to the number of homes and properties coming to market. I think we're going to see that continue just like every year into the summer, which is our busiest season. Real estate in the Greenville area is year-round, so we don't have a season where real estate really stops like some places do. In the Northeast or the Midwest, where it gets really cold and weather and snow can really inhibit people getting out, looking at houses and not wanting to move. We don't have that as much here. So December is actually our second busiest month for closings, but it is definitely led by June being number one, historically speaking. So we drill down into that a little bit. We're going to see that houses have been on the market longer this spring than they were last year, and definitely the last few years. We are seeing more price changes, so I am definitely seeing houses still coming to market at a really strong price and having to back that down a little bit. Pricing here is fairly flat, maybe even down. We're not seeing the big drops in value that people are seeing around the nation, places like Tampa, other cities where they are really seeing a decline in the market. We're not seeing that, and I think a lot of that is due to just the number of people that want to be in the Greenville, South Carolina area. They're drawn here either for jobs, for weather, places to retire, be close to the beach and the mountains. What a lot of people are coming here because they like the politics or because they like other things about the area. That influx is really keeping prices pretty steady. Greenville expects 200,000 people to move into the metro area in the next 10 years. That is something I've definitely been telling a lot of people when they call and ask about what I think the market's going to keep doing here. We may see some drops, but I think that number alone is going to be a lot of protection for value in the real estate market in Greenville. I got a comment here. How far is it to the ocean? We are about 3.5 to 4 hours from the ocean. And that closest ocean is really going to be Charleston, South Carolina, and the barrier islands right around it. That could be Sullivan's Island right north, or you could go south. But that's going to be your closest beach. We're probably 5 hours, a little bit more than that, maybe to Myrtle Beach. That's a very popular place. So if you're coming from around the nation, I know that's a place a lot of people go to for vacation. It may be familiar for more people. But Charleston's beautiful. There's no beach exactly in Charleston, but the southern historic city draws a lot of people just for that reason, and then people get to the beach somewhere around it. Great question. Thank you very much. If we get back into real estate just a little bit, I think it's a great time if you are looking to come to this area. Now's your time to hop in. You want to beat all of the rush that's coming in the summer. So I just want to throw that out if you're having considerations and you're watching this video later. If anybody's got more questions, feel free, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them here in a little bit. I'd like to talk about real quick, South Carolina Gamecocks women's team losing the national championship. They won last year. It holds a place in my heart because my family has supported them for a long time. My aunt really is especially a big part of the Lady Gamecocks, and we're sorry to see them lose. But, you know, there's always next year, so I'm sure they'll get back in it and be right at the top of the heap again. I'd like to talk a little bit about stuff that grows in Greenville. A lot of people ask me about if they'll be able to garden here, what seasons are like. So I'm just going to mention that real quick. We have a great area for gardening. If you like to garden either for self-sufficiency or just to add a little bit more fresh produce to your life and to be able to enjoy things that you grew yourself, this is a great location to do it. We get fairly even rain year round. Our driest time is usually the end of the summer around August, but we have a lot of water available a lot of times. And you can water from the hose if you need to. If your garden is small, obviously you won't want to do that too much. You know, if you're really growing large crops. Question here, do peaches grow there like Georgia? Yes, that's a great question. We are actually the #1 peach producing state. So this is a misconception that Georgia, the peach state, grows more peaches. We actually have more peaches grown in South Carolina than in Georgia. And you can really see that if you drive up I-85 from Greenville up towards Charlotte. In Gaffney, they have a giant peach-shaped water tower, and you will pass just farms of peaches on both sides of the road, really just littering the hillsides. As this comment says, they are so good. I mean, you can just drive up to the roadside stands and grab peaches that were on the tree yesterday or even that morning. And they're always ripe and delicious and ready to eat. I really love them cut up in ice cream. If you make homemade ice cream, peaches go great in it. So that's definitely my favorite homemade ice cream, peach ice cream. Just chop them up, throw them in there. You can, of course, chop them up and throw them on top of your ice cream. Either one of those will work. But they are delicious. So, yeah, South Carolina peaches are fantastic. A lot of things that are grown in the southern part of the state are your melons. So I grew up personally eating a lot of watermelon and cantaloupe when I lived in the southern part of the state, just picking them right out of the fields. They're delicious. The sandy soil down there is really perfect and is what they need. It really enables those plants to drain, but get enough rain and moisture to really swell up and make sweet fruit. And then it condenses as the time goes, and just the sugar quantity goes through the roof. It's so delicious. Acreages near Greenville, acreages close to Greenville are hard to find. If you want to be within just a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, it's going to be very hard to find an acreage. If you're willing to extend that 30 minutes to half an hour, yes, easily doable. And that's a great transition. Let's talk a little bit about commute times and the map around Greenville. I'm going to pull up now a commuter map. So this is going to be how long it takes to get different places. And it'll really show us how far things are from downtown Greenville. And you can actually use this map yourself. You can go to commutetimemap.com. And this will allow you to put in different modes of transportation around here if you're really going to use car. We just don't have a lot in the way of public transportation, so I would not trust much on public transportation if you're moving to the Greenville area. So this map that I already have pulled up, this is, as you see the little 15 in the car, this is where you can get within 15 minutes of downtown Greenville. And the further places that you go, like out here to Travelers Rest, this Easley, Greer, Simpsonville, you are only going to get to the park right along the highway. So this is Highway 29 or Wade Hampton Boulevard going towards Greer. You're going to get a lot further out of town up here on the highway. Once you start trying to break off the highway, you're really not going to make it nearly as far. Same for going up Highway 29 and Travelers Rest. If you're looking for acreages, this is going to be a good area for you up here and then over here as well. You'll find a little bit down here. This side is not going to be as prevalent if you're looking for an acreage. So I really think you're going to get up here. This is getting in towards the hills. I'm going to back out a little bit. You'll see we got the North Carolina line up here. This is the Blue Ridge Mountains. So things are hilly on this side of 85. And you can see 85 coming through Spartanburg right here, going down into Anderson and into Georgia. Above this, you're going to find more hilly land. Down here, Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, especially as you get south from there, things are going to get a lot flatter. I think you're going to be better off getting an acreage up here. If you're trying to be close to Greenville, you do a great job of getting an acreage down here. A lot of flat land, good space, especially around Lawrence. Get over towards Belton, Gray Court, Fountain Inn. These are growing areas. It's filling in, but there's still a lot of land to be found. So that can be a lot. Going back here, where are the mountains from downtown? Let's go back to this commuter time map, and we'll actually be able to see these are the mountains up here. And so you are probably, I would say, 45 minutes from being really in the mountains going up 25 here. This is how you're going to get, if I can pull this up a little bit, to Asheville, the Hendersonville first, and then Asheville up a little bit higher. And you go up here to Asheville. So you're really up in the mountains once you're crossing this North Carolina border. You have to go up a big hill to get up there. Now, of course, our big hill isn't the same as out west. This isn't the Rockies. So our version of mountains is going to be a lot more reasonable, so to speak. But your mountains are all up through here. So that's great. And if we can talk about geographic spots for just a little bit here, you'll also notice a lot of people ask me about lakes in the area, where you can go fishing, where you can get big lakes. You're going to get that over here. If you're looking for big lakes, we're going to go right over here to Lake Hartwell. And then as you go up, you get Lake Kiwi and then Lake Jocassee. Jocassee is the deepest up here in the mountains. Kiwi is still deep, but a little bit flatter. And then Hartwell down here is a much flatter lake, wider, calmer, and warmer as well. So if you like cool water, you want to go up high, Jocassee. If you like it warmer, Hartwell down here. I personally prefer Hartwell. You can get in earlier and you can swim later in the year. But some people think it's a little too warm when it's summertime. Getting back to a couple questions there. I'm sorry. Are there good hikes? Yes, lots of hiking around the area. In fact, last week, I took my kids hiking in Paris Mountain State Park, which is just, if I can use this map here, right on the north side of Greenville. So right up here, you got Paris Mountain. It's not much of a mountain per se, but you can see there's not a lot of roads cutting through here. That's because that's where Paris Mountain is. And there's some hikes there, but as you get up into the actual mountains, lots of hiking. We also have Conestee Nature Preserve on the southern side of Greenville. There's some good paths around there, fairly flat. You can do some running. And then we got the Swamp Rabbit Trail, which of course goes from Greenville up to Travelers Rest. Lots of great walking. You can jog, you can ride bikes on it. So if I'm not getting too far off, there's lots of hiking. We'll go ahead and go to what about rivers? There are not as many rivers that cut close to the Greenville area. You've got the Reedy River right downtown, but it is smaller than I think of a lot of rivers being. We have smaller rivers in this area, so they're not as prevalent. People don't have as much in the way of water activities on rivers. There is some access on a river over here out in Powersville at one of the parks where you can put in, get canoes, and then they have a place where you can put in and a place where you can hop out. And they actually are close together because of the bends of the river. So that's probably the most used river in the area. Other than that, I think people usually tend more towards lakes. If I can answer about jobs that are prevalent here, we have several very large employers. One of the largest is BMW. BMW employs more than 10,000 people, and it is in the Greer area. Their main facility, they're actually building another one, which will hire even more people. Michelin's North American Worldwide Headquarters is here. The headquarters itself, that's corporate jobs. We get a lot of people from overseas there. Same with BMW, but I would say more so for the North American Michelin headquarters. A lot of jobs there that are from people overseas. So we get a good French-speaking group here in Greenville to join the German-speaking that are all supporting BMW. Michelin itself has a lot of factories around South Carolina. So that's more than 10,000 employees, but that's not all in the Greenville area. A lot of other big employers here are healthcare. So several big healthcare systems. And then we have a lot of other manufacturing. Bosch Rexroth is a big presence here. Samsung's here. Got a lot going on in that regard. Where is Greer on the map? Well, let's pull up a map here real quick and look at the area. So I think that would be really good to do here. We'll pull that up. All right, so here we've got Greenville, and I'm actually going to go to just roads here just to make it a little clearer to see. I hope that's coming in well for everybody. Let me see if I can switch that layout to get myself smaller. There we go. All right, other suburbs as well. Let's touch on the big ones here. Up here to the northeast is Greer. It's about halfway. It's actually literally halfway between Spartanburg and Greenville. There was a rail line that went through, and that's why Greer was founded. It's a relatively new city, but has grown a lot. It's a good place people like to move to be close to Greenville or Spartanburg. And then, of course, you got BMW out there. That's drawing a lot of people as well. Other big suburbs people mentioned, Simpsonville. This is the most moved to area between Simpsonville and what reads on the map as Five Forks. This is the most moved in and out of area right now in the Greenville area. These two zip codes right here. Five Forks is not actually a city. It's listed as Five Forks on the map. People ask about it all the time, but you will not find addresses that say Five Forks. So if you are looking in that area, it's either going to say Five Forks, or it's either going to say Simpsonville, or it's going to say Greer. Greer comes down like this from the top, and Simpsonville from the bottom, and they sort of meet around here, right above this Five Forks designation on Google Maps. Other areas people are living in, Taylor's is big. That's an older area. It's been there longer, more existing homes. Malden's the same way. It got a little bit skipped over as people moved to Simpsonville, and it's starting to fill in some gaps in the Malden area. Travelers Rest is a big draw right now, but it's much smaller. Powdersville is the same way, a lot smaller, but a lot of people moving out there. Piedmont, I would say the same thing. Older area in Piedmont is not nice, but there's a lot of new construction down there that is nice. Easley is further out. At least time-wise, I know it doesn't look like much of a difference on the map, but is more standalone than some of these other areas. So there's a lot going on in Easley, and everybody that's living all around it out here is commuting in and out of Easley for shopping and things like that. So I think those are your biggest draws suburb-wise. Some things on here that are listed people don't really talk about. So like Woodbury, nobody references that as a place even. Parker, Welcome, same things. These are older areas, older names at least, and really don't get used much now. It looks like we're getting a couple more viewers in here. If anybody's got questions, feel free to chime in. I've got a couple just trivia questions about the area. So I can ask a couple of those, and one is going to refer to a favorite of mine. We'll start off with this. What condiment created by a Greenville native named Eugenia Duke is still a popular brand today? And it's made in Greenville. It's actually made in Malden. There's a big factory there, and I drive by it a lot. It's a very popular condiment. And I know people in California who actually order it online because they grew up eating it and moved out there and just can't live without it. Any guesses? Feel free to put them in the comments. If not, I will give you the answer here in just a second. It's going to be Duke's mayonnaise. So I don't know if you're a big mayonnaise eater, but if you are and you can find it on your shelf, try Duke's. It's fantastic. It's the only mayonnaise that I will buy. All that other stuff just doesn't compare. But all made right here, founded in this area. Let's see. I'm going to give you another question here, and that is, where does the name Greenville come from? Any guesses? Greenville, South Carolina. It's known as a very green place, but it is not named for being green. I'll give you that as a hint. Good guess. The plants. Nope. Not named for being green. Greenville is named for Nathaniel Greene. So that's where the name Greenville came from. Revolutionary War hero Nathaniel Greene. It originally had that extra G that Nathaniel Greene's name had in it, or the extra E, my apologies. But they dropped that out and just Greenville. All right. If I can go back to the map, I'm going to talk a little bit about cities here, because often people ask me, what are the populations of some of the places around here? What's the population of Greenville? And so the population of Greenville often shows as much smaller than how it feels and what people think they're going to find here. So they're really surprised by it. The population of Greenville as of 2023 is 73,000. So I'm going to flip back over here on this map and you'll see why. So right behind me, I guess, if I click back on Greenville, it'll show the city outlined here. And you can see that the city itself is a very small area. So we don't get a lot of people in that compared to the number of people that live in the area itself. So people who are going to say they're from Greenville when they're traveling nationwide are going to be all this area. So this is where the real population of Greenville is. Not a lot of it is in the city. And the reason for that is South Carolina makes it very hard for cities to expand their borders. So often you will find cities in South Carolina, their population will show online as much smaller than the metro area. So the metro area is going to be a lot bigger. The metro area right now is estimated to be 975,000 people. So you can see that's a big difference between the actual population that lives around Greenville and what shows online. Five Forks in the house. Welcome, Five Forks. Thanks for showing up. I don't know if you were here a few minutes ago, but I was just talking about how Five Forks shows up on the map, but is not actually, there are no houses that have a Five Forks address. It's not an actual designated city. So census designated place, if you see right here on Google Maps, that is actually the same for Taylor's. So that was a big surprise to me, because growing up, I thought of Taylor's as another city. Always thought of that as an actual place, but no dice. The city of Taylor's is really part of Greenville. It is a place, and there is a Taylor's Fire Department and some things like that. So it's a very interesting mix of city and county all coming together there. South Carolina's got a weird way of doing things. If we go down to Simpsonville, since we mentioned Simpsonville here, you'll see Simpsonville City itself, as we can see on this map, again, very small. So the city of Simpsonville itself is just in this little area. People who are from Simpsonville are gonna really come out from there. Like we talked about, all up in Five Forks. All of these are Simpsonville addresses. So the post office delivers to Simpsonville all out here. So a little bit of a misnomer. the way it's named right now shows up on the map. All right. Any other questions we have tonight? If not, I think I'm going to hop off. This has been a great test for me. I appreciate everybody who came out for my first live. I know it wasn't advertised, but I will put out information on the community page of the YouTube channel for when we're going to be live next. I expect that to be in about a week from now. We'll be able to get back on and answer any questions. So if you're viewing this later and you've got questions, just throw them down in the comments, or you're welcome to come on to our next live. I'll be happy to answer them right here with you. Thanks again for showing up. I really appreciate it. Love to interact. If anybody is considering a move here, I will be honored to help. You can reach me on the pinned comment. My details will be there. And of course, you can find my phone number, email address, all that all over the YouTube channel. It's really hard to miss. Thanks a bunch again. Have a great night.